So without any breaks at all, we get right back into the action of DanDaDan when Seiko is, of course, the smartest person in the room as always. And thank God that we have someone like her, because it's very clear that we would get into so much worse situations if we didn't have her. And this is her nerf. This is her taking medicine and actually suppressing a lot of her spiritual energy, which is no doubt going to bite her in the butt, unfortunately, when it comes to facing this threat. Because we don't know much about these characters yet, but it's very clear that they are not only in the know more than most, they are potentially a higher level of power as well. Because not only do these characters have the ability to make our heroes surrender and steal their abilities, they also are more than aware that the Serpoans are after Momo and say, hey, you know what, if we can't steal their abilities, we can always kill them and give them to the Serpoans. So these guys are aliens, and it is not lost on me at all that this character looks very much so like Count Saint Germain. Perhaps he is related to Count Saint Germain or of the same species as whatever the heck Count Saint Germain is, if he's not even a regular human. Alls I know is that once again, we are back into the craziness of DanDaDan, and I am not mad whatsoever. The only real mistake that we have made as a series as of right now was leaving the evil eye in the taxi before all of this began, which obviously I think is mostly just a way to keep his extreme level of power out of this conflict, because obviously the evil eye might be better equipped of handling this ninja dude as opposed to a heavily nerfed and medicine-induced psycho. But what immediately sets this chapter off is after they get into this big castle and they are stranded in what appears to be some of the most innermost chambers of it, Seiko begins to realize that things aren't as they appear. As she looks around, suddenly they are completely surrounded by phantom ninjas. And while it's not completely clear to me what yokai ability this person may have at their disposal, it's very similar to the Jiangshi ability that Miss Amane has, right? Where she was able to conjure all these big martial arts zombies. This person seems to be able to create phantom ninjas to the point that he pretends to have his own self held at knife point in an effort to have these characters surrender and relinquish their abilities, get the id cosmos out of Momo immediately, and also steal whatever powers Seiko may have. Because I don't think it's lost on me that Seiko, of all people, has been constantly told to surrender. And while Seiko is definitely a supernatural being, she is a priestess that has the power to fight yokai all on her own without some kind of special ability. I've said it time and time again, definitely check out my Seiko video if you haven't already, that the introduction of Seiko being able to predict everything about the one celebrity and including his future of getting exposed for all of his misdeeds is not something that I think we should forget about. Because remember, the way that this story works, there are so many small details that were brought up in the first chapter that are continuing to be revealed to us. Remember, Turbo Granny teleporting through the electrical phone lines came back in the Space Globalist arc. It's completely possible that Momo's supernatural special telekinesis, the hyper level of it that she was able to use in chapter 1, is part of the reason why Count Saint Germain is so focused on her. This may be some power that, again, she said that she kind of lost a decent amount and could only control auras and have her spectral arms and everything. But if she's able to awaken that kind of id cosmos power again, that could potentially be something related to DanDaDan if Count Saint Germain is so focused on it. But getting back to Seiko, Seiko also, throughout the very beginning portion of the series, is very much keen to Okarun and Momo's situation and almost seems to guide them in the best possible direction. Even when Gigi shows up, she put the ideas of competition in Okarun's head about needing to step up and be the man that Momo needs when Gigi steps in. So I think Seiko has abilities or a power that we may not know about. And even so, even if I'm completely wrong and it just turns out that they're trying to just steal her supernatural priestess powers that she has and that's it, either way, we need all of these characters that are in this situation to survive. Because again, like I said before, Seiko is the only one that was able to figure out that this was an ambush. We cannot lose her as a character in this battle. This video is sponsored by GamerSupps, the ultimate energy and focus formula. GamerSupps is an awesome drink made up of a bunch of vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin D3, B6, B12, and vitamin H. All super good for you and your health, so it's not one of those awful sugar-filled concoctions that's gonna make you crash after drinking it. If you're still skeptical about it, go check out the link and use my code anyway. They are more than willing to send you some free samples and give you a chance to try their product for free. Use my code NOOP now for 10% off, and thank you GamerSupps for sponsoring the channel. Seiko immediately after catching on to what happens tells Momo and Vamola that they need to leave immediately because this is a trap. They've been lured into territory, and Momo's like, wait, we need to save the priest. But Seiko already knows there is no priest. He's just an enemy, and the magic hammer was always in the spot that they needed it to be, which is terrible, right? That is literally the worst thing possible, that they didn't even need to go on this sidetrack journey. They got fooled completely by whoever this is and his giant crazy chameleon friend, which, by the way, great design on both parts. The chameleon is just, what a ridiculous alien design. My only hope of what they may be able to do to get out of this, especially because time is running out, they have to get this ritual completed before the hour of the ox is complete. If they're able to phone call Zuma and the old man, then they could potentially get the hammer and at least heal them of their curses so they can hurry up and jump and save us. That, I think, is a great opportunity, because without any time at all before Vamola and Momo are even able to escape, the chameleon seems to trap them inside and then fold the floor out from underneath them, which makes them fall into a chamber. And of course, when Momo and Vamola both fall down into the pit with the chameleon character, it just leaves Seiko alone with the Count Saint Germain lookalike. We've got Count Saint Germain at home, which sets up the new battle. Seiko versus this guy, the former secret priest, and Momo and Vamola versus the phantom thief ninja chameleon gecko thing. Again, I'm not sure what leaving the evil eye out or even putting Zuma and all of these other characters in this position of the shrine has in store for the story, because I think that is possibly the best way that they can escape this situation without wasting too much time. Because while I'm pretty confident Vamola and Momo might be able to figure out a way to defeat this chameleon, he doesn't seem too strong. Vamola's got her kaiju form. Momo still, despite her size, still has like 100% of her telekinetic abilities. What definitely worries me is Seiko going up against this Count Saint Germain lookalike. Because while it's not surprising to me that someone of similar look to Count Saint Germain might show themselves, it definitely opens up a huge layer of possibilities for this interaction. Does this person, based off the kind of knowledge they seem to have of Serpoans, of being able to make people surrender and have Kozuka knives, are they like higher up members of Count Saint Germain's goon squad? Because he even said when they were beating the crap out of Miss Amane and she had to be saved by Officer Bega, the main purpose was destroying and breaking down all of Momo's friends around her so she could no longer have that fighting spirit within her. And by getting rid of people as seemingly too innocent like Miss Amane, it made me realize, I think, that these may be at least more in the know of what's going on aliens. Again, the Serpoan information, the Kozuka knife, maybe we can get some decent bit of lore out of this priest character, because he's bowing to Seiko before they begin the battle. Seiko may be able to question this man. All I can hope for is that this is not only a very exciting battle, but that we actually have some story lore weaved into this battle to make it more of a meaningful encounter, as opposed to the Twister from Philippines that we just had previously. Because again, while I love the Twister portion, I can't deny that it felt like the story was on pause for a minute there. So hopefully, with seeing how much more in the know these characters are, we'll be a little bit more in the know as well, if you get what I mean. But either way, if not, I'm excited to see what the heck be going on in this fight that's about to come, and how the other characters might have some situations arise for them. But until then, you guys already know that I'll be here every week talking about DanDaDan. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future DanDaDan chapter reviews, but also so you don't miss any future DanDaDan videos that come out. Again, we've got the Seiko video, we've got the Evil Eye video, we've got the video on Okarun. Go check those videos out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.